In this video I show you more great features of Capture One Pro 20. If you enjoy this video or find it useful, then please like and subscribe. Until the end of March 2020, Phase 1 have a 25% discount on Capture One Pro 20 for Fuji and Sony users. Please see the description below for a discount code and links. Another great feature within Capture One Pro is the layers system. You can have separate layers with independent adjustments within those layers, which you can then mix into your project. Okay, so looking at this image, let's say I would just like to enhance the eyes alone. All I have to do is first create a new layer, click on this little plus, and then I'll create a new empty layer which I'll paint on. Then I'll just grab my paintbrush and make it a little smaller, and then I'll press M on the keyboard so that I can view the mask I'm painting and paint away into the eye and the other one. There we go, that'll do for this demonstration. Next I'll just hide my mask so we can see the effect of the adjustments. I think we'll start by going over to the exposure tab and enhancing the contrast and brightness within the eyes. Okay, first a little brightening and then a little contrast. Nice. There we go, we've definitely brightened up those eyes. Next we'll just make them a little bit more sparkly with a little clarity. And that's obviously a little overdone, but never fear. All we have to do is go to the layer and reduce the opacity of the layer. You can mix all the layers as you like, really nice. I think about there. As you can see, because you can use these adjustment tools on any layer, it's a really powerful system. You have all the tools such as a brush and an eraser and gradients of different types. Let's create another layer and we'll quickly create a gradient from top to bottom like so. And now with this gradient active, all we have to do is play around with it. So let's just go up to the brightness control and darken the head for now. Here we go, darker head. And if I've changed my mind, I'd rather have the bottom half dark and the head brighter. All I have to do is right click on the layer and invert the mask like so. And now, as you can see, the bottom half of the puppy is darker. Now if I want to erase a little bit of that gradient because I don't want the nose here to be dark, all I have to do is press E to bring up my eraser, and now I can erase that part of the gradient. Lovely. And because we have a gradient on a separate layer, I've managed to darken the bottom half of the puppy but leave the face perfectly bright. Beautiful. Layers are absolutely fantastic. I love them. I use them all the time. And you can also use layers in conjunction with the colour tools to perform some quite advanced colour editing. If I just go into the advanced section of my colour editor, like so, then pick a colour. I'll pick the pink on the tongue here. Then I'll select View Selected Colour Range because I only want to see the pinks of the tongue, etc. And now I can adjust the range so that I home in on just the colour of the tongue, excluding as many of the surrounding colours as possible. I'll just decrease the saturation range and then I'll decrease the smoothness or the colour range or fall off. So now we have mostly just the red of the tongue with a little extra here and there. But now I can do magic with Create Mask Layer from Selection. And now I have a new layer with just the tongue. I'll press M to view the mask. And there it is, just the tongue. There are a few little excess areas which are the same colour. All I have to do is use my eraser to erase them like so. And a bit around the mouth. And the final little tiny bit around the tongue like so. And now we have just the tongue selected. We've got rid of all of these superfluous colours which are the same in the image. Hide the mask. And now when I perform any adjustment on that layer, let's just say go into the basic colour tab and change the pink to another colour. It affects just the tongue. Magic. It really is a powerful system. Being able to isolate objects via colour is really good. And obviously I can perform other adjustments on this layer. I can maybe go to the highlights or the shadows, anything I like. Actually, this is really good fun. You really do get carried away. All of your adjustments are available on the layer. It's great. And in conjunction with the colour editor, it's super powerful. There are also different types of layers available for creation. If I press the plus, you can create an empty layer which you can then paint onto with the mask brush, a filled layer which is completely masked, ready for you to perform your adjustments. In fact, let's quickly create a new filled layer. Here we go. There's a new layer which is completely filled. So now we can perform global adjustments upon that layer, like so. Excellent. And of course, we don't only need to use contrast, we can use any adjustment. It's really good. And then we can use the opacity to mix it with the rest of the layers. And you've also got cloning and healing layers, which you can use for cleaning up your image. They're really handy too. Very nice indeed. We also have a whole bunch of advanced tools for controlling the mask, for refining the mask if you like. If I right click on an individual layer, I can do things like clear the mask, fill the mask, invert the mask, feather the mask, refine the mask, apply luminosity range to the mask. Using the luminosity range controls for the layer, you can define the range of brightness that the mask affects. You can save the settings from a layer as a style, which is handy. You can apply settings from styles and presets to the layer. For me, they're a really essential and powerful feature. I use them all the time. Another great feature of Capture One Pro are the process recipes, which are on the Output tab. Here we can set up various recipes to output in any format that we choose. So for instance, here I have a JPEG 1080p, and as you can see here it says 1080p, and I can edit all of these. We've got things like TIFF Adobe RGB, or here's one for Instagram, which you can see here, and as I have proofing on, I can see this in real time. It's really handy being able to preview the output like this. And here's one for print, so you can get some idea of the sharpening and settings that are applied when you output for print. All set up down here. Of course, you can add your own and have as many selected as you like. But the most powerful aspect of this is that you can export in one go all of these different formats. It's really good. This is just really handy if you have a workflow where you need to export multiple formats in one go. Let's just quickly have a go at creating a brand spanking new one. Just click the plus, then select the name for our recipe. I think I'll just call this one 1024. And this isn't me setting the size, this is just me setting the title, the name. First of all, we'll set the format from this drop down. I'll have JPEG for this one, and I'll set a low quality to save space. And as I want these images to be 1024 wide, I'll go to the scale and set width, and I will set it to 1024 pixels wide, irrespective of the height. And there we go, we have a new process recipe ready to use anytime I want it. Any images output with this process recipe will be 1024 pixels wide and whatever the height happens to be to scale. There are many other features such as sharpening, metadata, watermarks, and opening in external applications after the export has happened. They're really flexible. You can also use them for real-time proofing of images as you go. If I just select a process recipe like so, I'll just select this JPEG 1080p, then just make sure you have the proofing turned on with this icon. Then you can just go through your library like so, selecting images. Now I can go through the images as I see fit, and I can view them with that process recipe applied because I have proofing turned on. So it's a really nice way to see if things like screen sharpening, in this case, are working well for all of your images, and you don't need to make any further adjustments. I love the process recipes and proofing. I use them all the time. I think they're absolutely essential. I really love the way that the styles and presets work within Capture One Pro. They are to be found on the Adjustments tab, and we have styles, which are comprised of settings from multiple tools, which are much like the presets found in programs like Lightroom. And then just below them we have presets. The presets affect individual tools, such as the curve, exposure, film grain, sharpening. You can create your own presets or styles. It's really easy to do, or you can install pre-made. Phase One themselves do some great ones. So let's have a quick look at how the styles work. Let's open up Spring. Hovering over a style allows you to preview it instantly without committing, which is really nice. And if I want to apply a style, I just click it. And now my image has that style. Let's just turn that off for now. But the real magic of styles is if I right click on a style, I can apply it to my original image or the background as we just did, or I can apply it to a new layer. If I just pop over to the exposure tab, and now we can see that our style is in a new layer. And if I think it's too much, I can go to the opacity slider and bring it down in the mix. I can perfectly blend the style with the image. Really nice. And you can have multiple layers with multiple styles all mixed in at their own values, so you can mix and match styles. It's really good. Let's have a quick look at the styles that are here. I think I'll go to the IQ styles. Some of these are okay, so let's just choose Still Life. And right clicking on this new style, I can apply to the current layer or apply as a new layer or the background. There we go, another layer and another style. Let's just mix it in. This is just such a really powerful presets and style system. It's very powerful. It means I can have multiple styles and multiple presets on multiple layers, all mixed into however I want the image to look. Beautiful. And finally, the best thing about Capture One is the overall image quality. There seems to be some magic in them sliders. I can get much better image quality with Capture One than with any other image editor that I've tried, and I've tried a few. Take a look at this image, for example. Not a very well photographed image. It was just a off-the-cuff quick photo, spur of the moment. I even have a second photographer in the frame. It's very contrasty. Now, if I take you to the processed image, which is edited purely in Capture One, no other software used, you'll see what I mean. Bingo, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Lovely. The shadow recovery's worked an absolute treat. I love the colours. Skin tone's really nice. Superb for just Capture One. The highlight recovery in the sky is excellent. It's done a great job. And the colour controls have allowed me to enhance the car colours and the tree colours, subdue the trees a little bit. And don't worry, before I gave them the final image, I did manage to get rid of the photographer from the image. They really love this image. Okay then, let's have a look at the next one. Here we go. Not a bad image. A tad underexposed, I suppose. But it's okay, not a bad composition overall. Something that can easily be worked on with Capture One. Now I'll show you the work purely with Capture One. No edits with Affinity Photo or any other software. It becomes this. A couple of adjustment layers and some dodging and burning. I think you'll agree that it's quite a transformation from this to this. Oh, and I also use the clone tools to clean up the grass, clone layers. And next, a really drably coloured city centre scene. This would have been a throwaway image really if I didn't have something like Capture One. Then I apply Capture One and bingo. I really love the edit on this. I love the way that it's got a sort of a pastel look to it with all the detail. Lovely. Not bad at all for a lowly old Sony a6000 with the bog standard kit lens. I'm showing you really badly exposed images really to show how Capture One can rescue them. No point showing you perfectly exposed images. Here's another okay image from the Sony a6000. This is the raw file. And with minimum editing, we have this. Lovely colours. Again, the Sony a6000 with the little kit lens. This may not be the most interesting image in the world, but I just love the way that the colours and the image have turned out due to Capture One. And that really is the biggest reason, the number one reason I use Capture One, is that I think I've just got more chance of creating decent images from the source material. Excellent.